the Beretta Model 86 Cheetah tip-up barrel. Let's check it out. Beretta is the oldest firearm company that is still in existence, and they've been in business for about 500 years, and they have designed a lot of firearms and many very unique and reliable guns. The U.S. military used the Beretta M9 for a number of years. Beretta quality is just outstanding. Now, one of my favorite type guns that Beretta has produced is their Cheetah series, which is typically 380 or 32 ACP, even 22 long rifle. And today we're going to be taking a look at a very unique pistol out of that line, and this is the Beretta Model 86. And its claim to fame is the tip-up barrel. And Beretta does make other tip-up barrels, but typically in 22 and 25. But this makes it really easy to load. If you don't want to pull that slide back, it just pops the barrel right up. You load your round, you bring it down, and you're ready to fire. But probably one of the most tip-up barrel designs from Beretta is the Model 21, which is in 22 long rifle, but also in 25 ACP. And it has that same little feature where it pops the barrel up, makes it really easy to load, plus you have one extra round in the chamber. But the Beretta Model 86 has been an excellent concealed carry choice for a number of years. And it's in 380 ACP. It has an 8-round magazine, but once you load one round in the barrel, you have a 9-round capacity. These were introduced in 1976, and importation stopped not too long after that. So these are really fairly rare to find, and when you do find them, they ask for a premium. Now, this is a loaner from one of my Patreon members, Stan, who let me borrow this gem. I've been talking about the Beretta 86 for a while. I would love to get a hold of one. But guys, too many guns and not enough funds. But this is an excellent quality pistol. The Beretta Model 86, and this is part of the Cheetah series, which was the 83, 84, 85, and 86. These were introduced in 1976. And out of all the different Cheetah models, this is the most rare, most desirable, and hard to find. And if you do find it, they bring a real premium. So let's go ahead and make sure the gun's unloaded. We have a magazine release. Man, that thing shoots them out really well. It pops those mags out. It is a single stack 8-round magazine. This is made for concealed carry. Let's go ahead and check to make sure the chamber's empty, and it is. And it's really a thin handgun. And one of the things about that is that it makes it easy to conceal. And a lot of the Cheetahs, though, had double stack magazines, but this one just has the 8 rounds. Now, this one is a beautiful example. I mean, it is a fantastic, beautiful gun. I mean, it looks almost brand new, just coming right out of the box. The grips are walnut, very well done. You can get polymer or plastic grips to go on here, but honestly, this is just too good to replace. It does have the Beretta logo. Here on the back, we have serrations, just straight line serrations. It is an aluminum receiver or frame. So it gives it a very lightweight feel. And of course, you have a steel blued, hot blue slide. It is that open design, just like the Beretta 92, which is very reliable. It's one of the things, about these type pistols is it just allows for, freedom around this chamber area. And so you're going to have very few stovepipes. It's going to really throw those rounds right out. Now, this is a blowback design. It's in 380 ACP. Some of the Cheetahs did come in 32 ACP and 22 long rifle, but the 86 was designated for 380 ACP. The sights are just a 3-dot sight, just a notched sight at the back. This is pinned to the front, so you can't change this out, which was typical for most of your Berettas early on. Of course, it has the hammer and it has this nice beaver tail. And so with this smaller gun, and I wouldn't say this is a micro gun by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a compact firearm. And so this is going to protect you from hammer bite. And of course, you have a commander hammer. And then, of course, with slide bite. Now, if you have really big, large hands, it may be, a little bit high, but I think that's going to grip it pretty good. And the grip itself is fairly thick. And it's one of the things, though, about these Berettas, even with the double stack, which is not much thicker. But it gives you a better grip in your hand. It fills your hand. And then, of course, that magazine release button right here, and it's got that cutout. So you can get to your magazines, pop them out. Magazine does have a nice base plate to it, and they're steel. A lot of these are made by Metgar, which makes some of the best mags out there. And the caliber 380, caliber 9 short, which is also 9mm Kurtz, and this magazine is made in Italy. 2 magazines with the pistol, and again, limited round count, but yet it's very concealable, and that's one of the big things. Now, the biggest thing, though, about this pistol, right here on the other side, you have a lever, and we're going to drop our magazine. And this lever, it just comes around, and then the barrel tips up. And so that is the big plus for this pistol, is the tip-up barrel. And it's one of the guns that I've really been wanting, but man, whenever I find them, they are expensive. I mean, I've seen them up to, $1,200 or even more sometimes, according to the condition. And with this kind of condition, this pistol would definitely bring that kind of money. Now, to close the barrel, just bring it down, and then you pop your lever around and it's locked in. Now, one of the reasons for this is because people with weaker hand strength, it's a little bit of a chore to pull that back, even though, honestly, this is not difficult to pull back already. But there is that spring in there, and if you have any kind of problems with hand strength, you can just bring this back. You can load 1 round in it, close it, and now you have 1 in the chamber, and then you have 8 rounds in the magazine. So that gives you an extra round, so it gives you a 9-round mag capacity. Now you'll notice that it does have the magazine disconnect, and so we can't really do anything until we put the magazine back in. And I'm not really a big fan of that, but that was the design back then for especially European guns. Frame safety is here. It's not a decocker, but it's very positive. And it is ambidextrous, which is really nice. So it doesn't stick out that much from the pistol compared to all the other controls. And then, of course, your slide stop is fairly large, and it has a nice little lever. And then, of course, bring it back, and then you can lock it. And then, of course, you can drop it. Serrations really close on the slide. And but really it's such a low slide anyway, and so it's not that difficult to grab and check, even for press checks. And really with this front end, because it does have these cuts, it makes it really easy. And this is really the way that I typically press check, just to make sure the gun is loaded or unloaded. Now the barrel has more of a matte finish to it, and the front end of the pistol, which matches the frame. So it's almost a two-tone gray to black kind of look to it. And it's just fairly flat at the front, but it's just a very old school design. But Beretta still makes the Cheetah series, but they're not importing them as often. They just send over a few every once in a while, but the tip-up barrel was discontinued. And I believe, from what I read, I believe the Cheetah series in itself was discontinued back in 2017. I'm not positive about that. I have heard that. Now, this is my Model 84. This is in 380 ACP as well, and we're going to drop the mag, and it is a double stack mag, so we're carrying 13 rounds with this, and then we'll go ahead and check the chamber. And then again, it has the frame safety. It's very similar in design. You can even see with the slide stop. Now, it doesn't have that lever that goes all the way around. This is your takedown lever. And we've done a full review on this, and I'll have it annotated. But a nice quality gun. I mean, the Berettas have made some really high quality guns for a long time. But really what started the tip-up barrel design with Beretta was the Model 950. And this one has just a side lever. You can pop that open, drop a round in. And this is actually in 25 ACP, and it does hold 8 rounds as well. So this gives you a 9-round capacity and a very small firearm. Now this is single action, and that means the trigger does not actuate the hammer. So it's just a single action pistol. So once you get ready to fire it, you have to pull back the hammer, engage your safety. And this is not drop safe. So just be careful if you have one of these. They've discontinued these a number of years ago. But I bought this probably 30 years ago, and I love this little handgun. The quality, the bluing on it's beautiful. It's just a very simple gun at 25 ACP, which is not considered, you know, really a good self-defense round. I mean, it can be used, but I would highly recommend against it. And then, of course, you have your mag release here. But this is really what started it. But another pistol that is very popular and still being produced today is the Model 21. Now this is an older model as well. And then again, you have that tip-up barrel, and you can lock it in. This one is in 22 long rifle, and this is the caliber that they're still producing. They did produce this in a 25 ACP, but I believe they've either stopped producing it or they've stopped importing it. But now this one is a double action, so you can see it actually actuates the hammer. So you can load your magazine, load a round, keep the hammer in the down position, and then when you're ready to fire, you can just pull the trigger. But it does have that frame safety as well. And this is a great little gun. One thing that I recommend, especially with these little 22s, is CCI Mini Mags or the Fiocchi High Velocity copper jacketed bullets. Those really work well in here too. And then here's the Enox version, which is in stainless steel, and this is a very new production pistol. I did a review on this a while back. In fact, I've done reviews on all of these. I'll have them annotated for you if you're interested. But this is part of my mouse gun collection, some of these. But with the Model 86, it kind of comes away from the mouse gun collection. Now this is the Beretta 950 Minx, and it has this long target barrel, but it's in 22 short. And so it's just a different design with that longer barrel. And again, it is a tip-up barrel. And again, it's the 950 series, which this is just a shorter version. And it does come in 22 short. And man, it is fun to shoot in 22 short. And honestly, it's very reliable. These guns are very reliable. Sometimes with the 22s, you can have a little bit of finicky issues with ammo. That's one of the big things. But with the 25 and the 22 shorts, these just run like sewing machines. But if those little mouse guns don't appeal to you, Beretta still makes the Beretta Tomcat. And this is in 32 ACP. Drop the magazine. I believe it holds 8 rounds as well. And then check the chamber. It's empty, but it does have the tip-up barrel. But this is a little different. It kind of bounces. And this is in a matte version. They make a number of different, I think they make the Enox version, and they may make a black version. I don't know that it's the cold blue. But these are great little pistols. And early on, when these were first being made, they did have some problems with the frame cracking. But they fixed that. And of course, with the Enox version, the stainless steel version, they are some of the best out there as far as if you're looking for a little Tomcat. But this is in 32 ACP. And of course, this is in 380 ACP, which is an acceptable self-defense round. But you know, just a little bit less velocity than your 9mm, but it also is less recoil and less muzzle flip. But I also have one of the Model 70s, and this is in 380 ACP. It's a single stack magazine, and it has that little lip on it. This was made prior, and of course the gun is unloaded. One of the things about these pistols is you actually have to remove the magazine to get the slide to go down. And this is one of Beretta's earlier type designs. And here we have the Model 76, and this is in 22 long rifle. It is a target pistol, and this is just a thing of beauty. But you can see that I'm a big fan of Beretta handguns. So when I had an opportunity to check this one out, I was very excited because out of all of these, this is the most desirable and again, the most expensive if you're looking for one. And no review would be complete without a trigger pull test. So we're going to have that long double action. But man, it is like super smooth. And then for single action, have a little bit of take up right here, and then a very nice break. And for double action, that's usually not quite like a single action, but still a very nice break for double action. Reset, kind of comes out a ways. There you go. And let's check the double action trigger pull with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 7 pounds, 7 ounces. Honestly, it's not that bad. And we'll check the single action trigger pull. 4 pounds, 3.4 ounces. Weight on the Model 86 Beretta. 1 pound, 7.8 ounces. We really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA. One of the biggest suppliers of ammunition in the country. And of course, these are single stack, really thin mags, so I'm not using my Lulas today. But pretty excited about getting this Beretta 86 out. Really been looking forward to this. Man, there's something about a Beretta that's so smooth. That really small slide. And it's got that 380, so it's a nice feeling. Oh yes, man. Only thing is, just 8 rounds, it goes too quick. That's a beautiful classic, man. You know, I'm a big Beretta fan, especially the Cheetahs, and I've got an 84 and 85. I've got some of the 22s and of course some of the larger ones. And this is kind of like the Unicorn. I mean, it's definitely one of those because of the tip-up barrel system, and they're harder to get. I guess they were less made, but it's a beautiful pistol. They've gotten where they've really gotten expensive. The recoil on this is definitely a little more in your hand. It shoots really flat, but because of the blowback action, you feel a little more, even the 9mm, but it's so flat. Of course, it's just limited to 8 rounds, but still a very elegant pistol, and I really appreciate Stan for letting me borrow this firearm. I mean, this has been a really good experience. Now for disassembly or maintenance and cleaning, we're going to drop our magazine and check the chamber. One of the things about these pistols is that it is a little bit difficult to fully disassemble. And what we're going to do is just bring back and we're going to pop our barrel out. Now this is how you just clean the barrel. So you pop it open and then you just take your cleaning brush and you go from the chamber. And that way you don't damage the front muzzle, and so, you know, and that can affect accuracy. Now Beretta actually says that it's not recommended to break this down, and what you do is you drive this pin out. Now because this is a loaner from a good friend of mine, I'm not going to drive this pin out. It does say that it needs to be taken to a qualified gunsmith or someone who really knows what they're doing. Typically you can pull this barrel off and then the slide will pull back and up, but there's also the recoil spring in here. So really guys, you know, keeping it clean and just making sure that debris is not in there, that's the biggest thing to keep this running. And so if you really want to see that, I'm sure that it's online somewhere, but to be honest with you, I couldn't find it. I was really excited to bring this and give you guys a little bit of a closer look. And of course, Pietro Beretta, and you know, you have all your information, made in Italy. And then here on the other side, you know, it just has the warning to retract the slide and that it will not fire without a magazine. Beretta 86 FS Cheetah, caliber 9mm short. And you make sure you read that manual. Now this is the original box, and it does have the Beretta logo right here. Has small little snaps, opens up. Nice compartment for your Model 86, and again, it does come with 2 magazines. There is no magazine in here. A small little cleaning brush, and definitely we're missing the owner's manual. That would probably help with the disassembly of this firearm. Pros and cons of the Beretta Model 86. First off, it's just a classic, beautiful firearm, and Beretta, again, makes really high quality guns. The tip-up barrel feature is definitely nice, and easy to load, easy to unload. And so you don't have to worry about, you know, if you've finished at the range or you have it loaded, and unloading it makes it really simple and safe. The grips absolutely beautiful. It is a double action, very smooth trigger pull in double action. Very nice trigger in single action. Resets a little bit long, but very nice, very thin handgun. And yet it still has some thickness, which for concealed carry is a little thicker than a lot of the new polymer frame striker fire pistols for sure. One thing though that would be a con would be just limited to 8 rounds, but that was designed so you could carry this as a very thin handgun option. And of course 2 magazines is nice. Also with these, the value of these handguns have gone way up, and if you're willing to pay that, this is a very classic, very sought after firearm, and one that really goes into any tip-up barrel collection. Maybe one day I'll pick one of these up to add to mine, but at this point right now I'm just glad that Stan let me borrow his. So guys, just wanted to bring you along with one of the guns that I've always been fond of, would love to have, and I really appreciate Stan for bringing this out to me to let me try it out. It's been a great experience. And again, these pistols are going for a premium. In fact, I've seen them for up to $1,500, and this one is a beauty. And so it was really nice to get one of these out and test it out and just do a little test drive. I still may pick one of these up to go to my Beretta collection. But for now, I'll stick with my Model 21 to get my tip-up barrel fix. Rubber Dummies is one of the best training tools on the market, and you get a 10% discount using Suit00 when you click the link down in the description. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Okay. The Beretta Model 86 Cheetah tip-up barrel. But the Beretta Model 86 has been, but the Beretta Model 6. Okay.
A piece of brass landed on my shoulder, trickled down the side of my neck right there and lingered for just a second and then fell off. I was like, whoa, man. I thought we were gonna have a sticker there for a minute.
Beretta is the oldest firearm company still in and its claim to fame is it has something. Why did that barrel pop out? I'll tell you what, I really appreciate Stan.